All right, you know the feeling. The holidays are just around the corner, you're thinking about family, all that great food, and then it hits you. That tangled mess of lights sitting in a box in the garage. It's a classic tradition for sure, but what if there's a better way? Today, we're going to make the case for letting the pros handle your holiday glow up. I mean, this is the big question every year, isn't it? Are you creating a joyful family memory, or are you just signing up for a dangerous chore? We're talking shaky ladders, freezing cold fingers, and let's be honest, maybe even a little bit of an electrical risk. So which one is it? Let's dig in and find out. Okay, so DIY or pro? To help you make that call, we're going to break down all the key factors. The goal here is that by the end of this, what feels like a kind of stressful decision right now will be a whole lot clearer. So, where do we even begin? Well, the information we're digging into today really lays out a strong argument for hiring a professional, and it's about so much more than just making your house look pretty. It really all boils down to four main advantages. And honestly, these might just change the way you think about this holiday tradition forever. All right, let's jump into the first one. And you could argue this is the most important one of all. And it's all about safety. I mean, think about it. These professionals, they're geared up for the risky stuff, like climbing up on a slippery roof in the middle of winter. They know the safety protocols, they understand electrical loads so you don't accidentally cause a problem. The bottom line is, they're the ones up on the ladder, which means you get to stay safely on the ground. Okay, coming in at number two is a big one. It's all about that one resource that none of us seem to have enough of, especially during the holidays. Yep, it's time. A pro installer is just fast. Way faster than most of us could ever be. And you know what's even better? If a bulb goes out halfway through December, they're the ones who come back and fix it. That alone saves you hours of that super frustrating find the bad bulb game. And this slide really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? On the DIY side, you've got researching, untangling that giant knot of wires, spending hours up on a ladder. But on the professional side, it's one call. It shows you the real cost of your time versus just calling in an expert. And this idea of saving time leads us perfectly into the third big advantage. It's not just about saving a couple of hours here or there. It's about freeing up your whole schedule. If you run a business, that's time you can spend with your customers. For the rest of us, that's more time for shopping, baking, or just hanging out with family, instead of being stuck in the middle of a weekend-long project. All right, and that brings us to the fourth and final key benefit of hiring a pro. This one is huge, and you might not even think about it. Protecting your property. I mean, your home is your biggest investment, right? Using the wrong clips, or worse, staples, can actually do some serious damage to your roof, your gutters, or your siding. The pros have the right equipment and the right training to make sure your house looks great without leaving you with a costly repair bill in January. Okay, so let's say you're on board. You're thinking, this sounds pretty good. The next big question is, how do you find the right person for the job? Well, the material we're looking at has some really clear advice, and it starts with a warning. You've got to watch out for what they call pop-up services. You know, the type, they just kind of appear out of nowhere for the season. They might quote you a really cheap price, but they often don't have the experience, and, this is the big one, they might not have the right insurance. And that leaves you on the hook if something goes wrong. So here's a simple checklist to protect yourself. First and foremost, they absolutely have to be fully insured, no exceptions. Next, ask about their licenses and permits. You also want to make sure they're a registered local business. And finally, just do a quick check on their reputation. Look up reviews online. Any legit professional company will have all this information ready and won't hesitate to share it with you. All right, so let's wrap this all up. What's the big takeaway from all this? When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one simple quote from the material we've been looking at. Hiring a professional is going to save you time and energy. It's really that simple. So really, the key is to think about the cost in a different way. You're not just paying someone to hang lights. What you're really doing is making an investment in your safety, in getting your time back, and honestly, in your own peace of mind during what can be a really crazy time of year. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. Maybe the next time you're staring down that tangled box of lights. This holiday season, what is your peace of mind actually worth?